Everybody, it's Steph from the Hot Moon Podcast. So the Toronto Raptors are the first team we hear put their hat in the ring, at least publicly, or at least reports coming out of Giannis showing mutual interest. All right, this is coming from an insider directly related to the Toronto Raptors. Look, on the surface, you're like, the Raptors, right? Why would the Raptors, be in the running for Giannis? Why would Giannis go there? Well, nobody knows what Giannis really wants. Okay. And when you take a step back and actually think about it, it's like, it probably makes sense for him to stay in the East. It really does. Just because getting to the NBA Finals, I feel, is a much more easier task than getting to the Finals through the Western Conference. Okay. I know the Rockets and Spurs, they not much rumbling has been made yet, obviously, because the season's still going on. So we'll see. They seems to me that they have one of the two of the better packages to offer. But what about the Raptors, though? So look, according to NBA insider Doug Smith of the Toronto Star, both the Raptors and Antetokounmpo are intrigued by the idea of joining forces, a development that could spark the biggest trade of the summer. I don't know if it will happen, but I do know the mutual interest between Antetokounmpo and Raptors. The wild card is the cost, but I also think the Raptors are uniquely placed to make an attractive offer that won't ruin the franchise roster. That's a key point. That's a very big key point. When you land, if you're able to land a whale like a Giannis, land a big star player, you don't want to decimate your roster, right? You don't want to have one star player and then you have a bunch of mediocre role players, signees, sign-ons that they're not going to go anywhere, So it would make. He goes on to say it would make the case. I would make the case that the logjam at the wings makes them deep enough that if they had to pay even two out of Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji, Jacoby Walter, RJ Barrett, Jonathan Mabo, would still leave enough to fill out a pretty good team with promising young players still developing. Plus, they still have all their picks, so giving the first rounder every year for, say, the 4 years leaves enough. That's very true. That's very true. They have the draft picks. They have this year's 9th pick. They have a lot. The Raptors have a lot to offer in a trade package with the amount of young talent they have. They have a lot of league players, like they said. And it's a very good, very compelling case for the Toronto Raptors to move. If they want to move off RJ Barrett, I don't know if Brandon Ingram is on contract or if they can trade him. You got a young player like Grady Dick. Okay. They got Jonathan Quickly if they want to keep him. Emmanuel Quickly, excuse me. If they want to keep him or have him part of a trade deal, whatever it is, they have a lot. If they want to keep Quickly, cool. Keep Grady, but move off of Barrett. Move off of Barnes. Keep Ochai Agbaji. I mean, they have a whole lot. They have a lot of pieces. Okay, this is a young team. Okay, they're like, look, the NBA is going in a different direction, as you can see with the finals matchup that we have. Okay, with the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, teams that are built around young players, role players, and a star player or two. That's about it. You have to have a full-fledged roster, and I feel like the Toronto Raptors, you can laugh at on the surface, but I mean, if you actually look at it from what they have from a young talent perspective, and what Giannis truly wants. I mean, if he wants to go to Toronto, who says that he wants to be in a big market, right? Nobody can speak for Giannis. Okay, and Masai Ujiri has pulled off trades in the past that had, that we didn't think so. We didn't think that they could land a Kawhi Leonard, right? So, I mean, that was a few years ago. So, is Masai, but I hear Masai Ujiri. I don't know if he's staying. I'm not sure. But if he is staying, this could be a big deal. It could be massive. And I wouldn't see about Toronto, right? I mean, nobody really thought the Raptors had a shot at getting Kawhi Leonard. I remember around that time, there was some betting odds about the Raptors' long shot at getting Kawhi Leonard. I'm like, why is Toronto, or Toronto's a favorite to land Kawhi? Something like that came out of nowhere, right? So look, the NBA does things differently, right? Where you think a player might go, where the market, he should go to San Antonio, he should go to Houston, and he's going to a team that nobody suspected. That's that. I wouldn't be surprised at. You always got to expect the unexpected in NBA when it comes to star players, right? It may sometimes, like, we may want him to go to a certain place because it's good for the NBA or whatever, but teams got to look at it as opposed to what's good for the NBA. They got to look out for themselves. And if the Toronto Raptors can offer a great package with future draft picks on continuum with some of Toronto's young pieces, yes, they're absolutely a major player to land Giannis. And, Toronto has a very diverse market. Okay, he's Greek, Nigerian, all that stuff. So I'm sure they have a big Catholic community out there as well. It's definitely bigger than Milwaukee. It's definitely a bigger market than Milwaukee. I wouldn't call Toronto a small market just because they're in Canada, right? They're a very big city out there, so it'd make perfect sense if they're able to pull off something and make it work, especially with the East being weekend, with Boston being weekend. I mean, the East can be wide open for sure now that Jason Tatum is out, most likely for the remainder of next season. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.